Hello you wonderful people, this is actually part 2 to another video in honor of Zelda Month and Peanut Butter Gamer. If you haven't watched the first part, watch that one and come back and watch this one. You caught up? Good! Now let's go. A good portion of people will tell you that they like every Zelda game, but there are a few in the series that keep everyone from liking them. And this happens to be one of them. This is Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. But why is that? Well, for starters, they made this game completely different on purpose, so it holds almost no semblance to the original game besides the characters. First off, it's a side-scroller, and then it contains RPG elements on top of that, and then there's also a giant difficulty spike right at the beginning of the game. Even with all of these attributes, I still really like Zelda 2. Well, you know, besides the crippling difficulty at times. So, to keep myself from going on another tangent, let's dive into Hyrule for our second time. Zelda 2 was released roughly 1 year after the first game. While Japan got it January 14th of 1987, the West received it on December 1st of 1988. Shigeru Miyamoto intended Zelda 2 to be completely different. To do this, an almost completely different crew was assembled to tackle the project. Instead of directing the game, Miyamoto was instead a producer, enlisting Tadashi Sugiyama to direct the game. Takashi Tezuka was once again part of the team to develop the story. This is one of the games in the series that is actually a direct sequel to another Zelda title. Taking place years after the original Legend of Zelda, Link is now a teenager. He then notices the crests of Hyrule appear on his left hand. Confused, he goes to see Zelda's nursemaid Impa for answers. Startled, she takes Link to the North Castle to show him something that has remained secret for generations. She opens a sealed door to chambers of a woman sleeping. It turns out to be Zelda, but no, it's not the one that you saved. This is one from a long time ago. There once was a prince... Jeez. Sounds like I'm trying to tell a legitimate story or fairy tale here. This prince wanted to harness the power of the Triforce, but his sister Zelda would not reveal the locations in order to keep it safe. In a rage, he and his wizard went to interrogate her, which eventually ended in the wizard casting a sleep spell on Zelda and killing himself in the process. How did he do that? I'm not quite sure. Man, I don't know how you kill people with a sleep spell. You must be a pretty garbage wizard to do that. Feeling remorse for what happened, he put her in the North Castle Tower and decreed that all princesses are born with the same name Zelda in remembrance of the tragedy. To those of you that thought the game wasn't going to get confusing until later on, well, that wasn't going to be the case. I guess it's not that confusing, but still, if you didn't have the manual, you had to go by the scrolling text in the intro, which isn't very helpful to explaining the extent of the story. Once again, Link must travel across the land, but instead of collecting the Triforce pieces, he needs to place crystals in each tower to weaken the barrier guarding the Great Palace, which holds the Triforce of Courage. With Ganon remaining dead, his followers are trying to kill Link in order to take his blood and resurrect him. Also similar to a Dracula novel, if I believe. As for the gameplay of the game, I mentioned earlier there were some major changes to it. Instead of a top-down view, it's now a side-scroller. Besides that already huge change, there's experience points that allow you to level up 3 statistics: sword, magic, and life. They should have just said attack instead of sword, but hey, I mean at least it got the point across. NPC interaction is also another key trait that made the game different. Even though some NPCs don't give you much information, there are some that are key to complete the game. Lives also made the first and only appearance in a Zelda title. This wasn't a great addition, admittedly. At least there are still some secrets to make you keep that sense of adventure that the first game had. Instead of getting Koji Kondo to join the team once again, they got Akita Nakasuka to join the team instead. Like Kondo, Nakasuka joined in 1984. He worked on numerous other Nintendo projects such as Clu Clu Land, Ice Climber, and Punch-Out! He was able to take the music themes from the first games and rework them in order to craft new music for this title. Like the first game, Zelda 2 was able to set the stage for more titles. It helped add to the platforming and role-playing genres and remained a compelling game experience. One great thing this game was able to do is have a great track, the tempo music, reworked for Super Smash Bros. Melee and Brawl. In comparison to the first game, I actually have a little bit more material to work with, but really it's not much more. The title screen music is dramatically different than the original. Even with it being different, it was able to keep that urge to adventure the world of Hyrule like the first one did. Though, with its arrangement, I do think it may have been better suited as an ending theme rather than an opening one. Well, at least for a little bit anyways. The opening portion of the overworld theme has a part from the original theme but quickly goes into its own thing. It does slightly borrow elements from the title screen, but it's sped up and fits for the environment as it makes your adventure feel carefree as you travel to each location. Maybe that's to soften the blow of the difficulty. One huge difference from the original game is that instead of just fighting enemies as they come to you on the map, you enter a portion akin to a random encounter from an RPG. One thing that this track is good at is getting you quickly into the action. It's slightly frantic and such a change of pace that it really fits perfectly alongside the overworld music. Another part of the new addition are towns. A huge change of pace, especially if you've been fighting a lot before you enter one. Besides just breaking up the monotony of grinding up levels, it also breaks up the music since you have a much more peaceful area to explore. While getting healed or talking to Error, it's good to have a nice, harmonious melody playing in the background. I love the Palace theme. It's easily my favorite track of the entire game. Thanks to as hard-hitting as this track is, it lets you know that you're about to enter a real-deal type of environment. This song is one of the early game songs that perfectly utilize the hardware. There are multiple layers going on in the background, adding to the distress and urgency you should feel as you travel up, down, left and right, and sometimes through the walls in these perilous places. Much more epic than the original temple theme is the track that plays during your time in the Great Palace. Once again, Nakasuka pushed the hardware to create some heavy tones for the system to push out. It's an exceptionally powerful track to go with the last location of the game. While traveling through the palace can be less than thrilling with the enemy difficulty and the secrets, it's always good to have some tight music playing while you die. Over, and over, and over, and over again. One battle theme I didn't mention was the one against Dark Link. And unless you're really good or are going to use the lazy and cheap method, he's going to beat you senseless. This music has much more tension building as you will most likely not have much life left after your battle with the Thunderbird. Well, my friends, that's it. We've tackled 2 games in one of gaming's most beloved franchises. I hope you enjoyed these 2 episodes, and I hope you learned a little bit in the process, too. I tried to take this one a little bit more seriously just because this is my way of paying respects to PBG, and as well as the other content creators that have helped inspire me to bring me to the YouTube light. Alright, I'm not going to keep you guys here too much longer, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you tune in for more episodes of the Gamesician, and I'll see you all later. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and peace out, Girl Scouts.